For the very first time since I started flying for Envoy, I was assigned my first choice of a line schedule for the month. I'm flying a lot in and out of Miami, and I'm flying all 5 trips with my good friend Lisa. This is super unusual for pilots. Normally I fly with 4 or 5 different captains during a month. So in this video, I'll give you an overview of our schedule and how it worked out that we're flying together again for the entire month.
This month, our line has 6 overnights in Miami, 5 overnights in Greensboro, and 3 overnights in Cincinnati. We're flying a total of 36 flights to Greensboro, Cincinnati, Norfolk, Tallahassee, Moline, Louisville, Nassau, and North Eleuthera Island out of our hubs in either Chicago or Miami. We're also deadheading on 3 mainline American Airlines flights from Chicago to Miami for crew positioning. With overnights in just 3 cities and about 7 turns to the Bahamas, this is a pretty unusual schedule for me.
Okay, so you guys ask me all the time if it's too late to switch careers and become a pilot. I've been so lucky to fly with Lisa this month. She's a great friend and an even better captain. And I figured her story might help a few of you who are thinking about becoming a pilot and maybe even switching careers. Go for it.
Yeah, so I was a school teacher for 4 years, and then I wanted to do something different, travel the world, so I became a flight attendant for United Airlines, and it was awesome. We went all over the world and made a lot of great memories. And then I decided I wanted a challenge after a few years, stay in the industry, but I wasn't quite sure what it was until 2 pilots that I worked with inspired me to become a pilot myself. They thought that I could do it, and it's never something I never
That was like the spark for you, right?
Exactly.
Like
it was never something that I had even thought I could do. And then so I enrolled in flight school the following month, and here we are 7 years later.
That's
it's never
awesome.
too late. Yeah, I was 30 years old when I made that decision, so.
All right, not every overnight is this good, but also, we were just joking about this, we actually both flew for Mokulele Airlines. How weird is that? Small world, right?
Best little airline in the world.
Okay, I know that we've had all these Miami overnights, but like this is our actual reality. Being stuck out here in the snow, it's horrible. So it's not all good, I promise. As our Miami base transitions to an all Embraer 175 fleet, us 145 pilots from Chicago are covering most of the flying. While I usually bid my schedules based on things like late start times, early finish times, and weekends off, this month I focused on getting as much Miami and Caribbean flying as I could. There are some serious pros and cons on how this affected my schedule, which I'll talk about a little later. But trust me, spending a month flying mostly out of Miami during the winter has been a great deal.
So the reason Lisa and I are flying the entire month together is because Envoy has a system of line bidding for our pilots. What that means is that Envoy is assigned flying for the entire month, right? Then they break down those flying schedules into pre-built lines for the entire month. So for instance, this month there were about 90 lines for both first officers and captains on the Embraer 145 out of Chicago. First officers and captains both bid within the same packet for a schedule of lines in seniority order. So it's kind of random who you're going to end up flying with. It's kind of unusual to fly with somebody for the entire month though, because normally people are taken off trips for things like being sick or recurrent or line checks. But in this case, Lisa and I were assigned the exact same line, We both like the schedule and we're good friends, so we decided to keep our schedule, not trade or swap anything, and then we were able to fly the entire line together. Sometimes other airlines use a system called PBS, which really mixes and matches the different sequences throughout the month, so it's much more likely at those kinds of bidding systems, at those airlines, that you'll fly with different people throughout the month, more so than working with one other person like I am this time.
When you're a pilot, your life becomes a balance between quality of life, quality of job, and quality of pay. When you pull on one, the others usually shrink. Because I focused on the quality of my flying and overnights this month, there were some noticeable downsides in my schedule, like multiple midday breaks over 4 hours long, or multiple 30-hour overnights with 2 nights in the same hotel and no flying in between. My line also has 13 days off with 2 carryover days into the next month, which is sort of like giving myself a schedule with only 11 days off. When you combine all of that for only 50 hours of flight time, that's not a great schedule at all. But I'm getting the warm weather in Miami overnights and the Bahamas flying that I was really excited about, so I don't regret the decision this time. Flying to the Bahamas has been a much needed change of pace compared to winter flying in the snowy Midwest.
More than anything, this month has reminded me why working with awesome people and having good overnights can totally change your outlook on your job. It's given me like new energy because I was getting kind of in a rut being up in Chicago doing the same routes over and over, but I mean, this was worth it.
Even though I had no way of knowing that I would be scheduled to work with Lisa this month, I couldn't have been luckier to fly with a friend into some of the coolest airports at our airline. We managed to escape most of the cold in Chicago to enjoy the warm Miami beaches and Bahamas flying. It doesn't always work out this well, but I'll always remember that this month at work hardly felt like work at all.